All right, Mr. Producer Man, what is the next topic that we're pulling up here? Okay, yeah, Germ. All right, let's talk about Germ here for a second. There's an article that has been pulled up. 90% of it, a good 90% of it, has to do with him and his childhood friend making some short films. It's actually a pretty heartfelt article, but there is one sentence at the very last paragraph of this thing that has to do with Game of Thrones, which is all anybody gives a shit about. He's basically saying, oh, he'll never finish, or his friend was saying basically he's never going to finish these books. I don't know. And then George R. R. Martin says maybe they're right. I don't know. I'm alive right now. I seem pretty vital, but then he adds that he's never going to retire because he's not, quote, a golfer. This, to me, is just a real nothing burger. He's not going to finish them.
He's not going to finish them.
No.
Why would he?
The
second he finishes them, then the long extended 15 minutes is up. Because he's not going to finish them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. If I was in his place, I wouldn't finish them either. I would make prequels and sequels and spinoffs, and I would never finish what I was known for. Of course not. I would tease it though. I'd be like, maybe next year we'll see working on some stuff. Like I would take that to my grave. I would leave that last book just never read.
That's exactly what he's going to do. And it's probably going to be some ghostwriter who's actually going to finish it freaking 20 years from now or something. Keanu, can I ask you first, if you are a fan of Game of Thrones, the series, have you watched the show, or do you read the books? What's your take on what the hell is Germ doing to take so long on this book?
It's another one that I am unfamiliar with. I have seen Game of Thrones. I have seen it. But again, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened, and I don't think I watched it to the end. My mother loves it. It's a little fantastical for me, and I certainly wouldn't read the book. So I couldn't. I don't think I would even give. I wouldn't. It wouldn't. He's saying he's going to write a new one. Is that it? Because people are huge fans of the books.
Well, not a new one. The conclusion to the story still hasn't been written in book form, and it's been 11 years, 12 years. Since the last book
he
came
absolutely
out?
should, but he's just not going to do it. He's just going to toy with us.
Well, he's like 70 and overweight and bad health.
70 is the new 40. I married a man 24 years older than me. He's fine. No.
He's fine.
No,
Have you seen George R. R. Martin?
70 is the new. I mean, yeah.
He looks like a potato.
70 is the new 40, but once you weigh 450 pounds, like 70 is the new 19.
Can we pull a picture up of George R. R. Martin real quick on the screen for Keanu? Just real quick.
I did see it. He looked cute, like Santa.
Yeah. He looks like a yard gnome.
He looks like a gnome. Yeah.
I love his hat.
He is looking at a gnome.
Damn books. The people want to know.
Yeah,
he has the personality of a yard gnome.
Yeah, well, see, the fans like your mother probably, I don't know, I'm making an assumption here, a complete assumption, but a lot of fans, the vast majority of fans, were very disappointed with the last season of the TV show, and they are looking to the author of the books to come out with the last story that kind of, for lack of a better term, makes up for the fact that season 8 was terrible, and like give them an actual good conclusion to the story, and he's just not doing it. He's super distracted.
Okay, look, you guys. It will only be a failure. People have built this up for so long. It's better to, from his perspective, to never finish it. Because even if he writes the perfect ending, there's still going to be plenty of people that hate it.
Does this remind any? This sounds like the exact plot of Misery, right? Like he's going to get in a car accident and then a huge super fan is going to find him, hobble him, and make him finish the book. And then they won't like it. And then they'll burn that one and then they'll have to rewrite it. I mean, maybe that's why he's too afraid to finish.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Oh, his name is Gary Beekler.
Kathy Bates is going to find him.
Gary Beekler is going to find him.
Yeah, I think Keanu's onto something there.
Gary's like, I got to take a break for a couple months, guys.
He comes back. He's like, we did it.
We did it.
It's finished.
Gary, where's Germ at? Where is he?
George R. R. Martin comes out in a wheelchair and 2 black eyes. All right, guys, I finished the book.
Exactly.
All right. Odin, what's your take on this, man?
He has read 2 more books. Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's
God.
like this book to finish, and then there's one last book after that. So just, like with the book that still has not yet come out, it's that and another book. So 2 books.
Never
there.
happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've read the first book, and that's about where I stopped because it's a little bit too much for me, for my sensibilities. The writing is still
right.
Hmm?
A lot of penises.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
sexual stuff,
A ton
right?
of penises.
Yeah,
Very
a lot of that.
descriptive penises.
Very
Penis
too
again.
too descriptive in many ways. But I so as far as the writing goes, I don't really care as much. I'm the same with the show though, right? Season 8 just fell off a cliff, and even my wife, who's not really a part of this space, disagrees with me on a lot of things, even politically. Even she was like, wow, this got really bad really quickly. Like, we were laughing at the last 2 episodes, especially. And so I think that this, like, just as an outsider kind of in the book space, at least, I think that it's honestly, it's a bit selfish on his part. And I guess you could argue that he has the right to be because he's the author, he's the creator. But also at the same time, it's like, if you're going to create a world and then you're going to try to get people invested into that world, it's like, come on, like, you kind of owe them to finish a story, right? To give them a complete story at some point. And so, like, the fact that he's done so many other things since, like, he has put out like other books, he has helped put out other shows like House of Dragon, like, he's done so many other things where clearly he could have been spending that time working on this book instead. And the fact that he hasn't is just, honestly, it's incredibly infuriating. Even as someone who's not a huge fan of the books or waiting for it with bated breath, I'm frustrated on behalf of the fans because it's like, I can at least understand why you would be frustrated by that.
I have 2 things to say. First off, I have never read the books, but I decided I was going to read the books when I was watching the show. So like around season 3 came out, right? And I'm like, you know what? I need to start reading these books, but I wasn't really aware of the whole controversy and all this kind of stuff at that point yet. So I bought the books and I told myself, I'm not going to read the books until after the show's over. Right. And now the show's over, but I didn't realize at the time that he hadn't finished the books. So I got all the books down there in that shelf, but I haven't read a single word of any of them because I'm still waiting for him to release the last one. And I don't think I'm ever going to get to read them because I still have that whole thing where I'm going to wait until they're all there before I start. And I had something else to say, but I completely forgot what it was during that. So I'm going to move on. Go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, Kadish just walked out of the room.
I know.
So
oh my God.
Whatever we want.
Whatever we want. Yeah.
All right.
I saw it. I was like, wait a minute, he's here? I thought he was on the road somewhere.
No, he's literally puppeteering in the back seat over here. It's all good. Okay, yeah. So Brian, did you chimed in already on this on Jerem over here? Okay. Keanu, you've chimed in. Dutch, everybody. Odin's good. Okay, cool.
Oh, you know what it is I think it would be funny if we all found out that Germ is like the world's biggest troll. I have this theory that he has the books finished, written, and done, but they're just in his vault and he's waiting to die. So
that would be hardcore.
So when he does die here in a few years, he can release them upon the world and with his last final gift to the planet. I think that would be pretty epic if he did something like that.
I am 100% in agreement with you because here's the thing: if this guy dies, and we're not wishing anything evil to happen.
No, not at all.
Just to be clear, for YouTube's sake, we're not hoping anything happens. But when and if it does happen, and then he had these books already done, and he doesn't release them until after his death, the money that is generated goes to his estate, which would go to his family or friends or whoever he has there, and then he doesn't have to deal with the freaking fans' criticism.
Not at all.
At all. He's like, what do I care if the fans didn't like it or not? I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap? You guys can hate on it all you want.
You guys don't like all the gay sex? I don't care. It's there anyways. Yeah, dragons are having sex with other dragons.
How epic would that be, though? How epic would that be?
I think that's the move. I think that's the move. I would do it if I was him. I'm like, look, man, it's already written. It's done. It's not going to be
a dead man switcher. What about this? When he dies, right? It just gets released and on the internet.
Yeah, free.
And there's one last middle finger to all the debt collectors and his book company and publishers and all that.
Yeah, greedy publishers. On a related note, I guess I just purchased the full box set of the Lord of the Rings for my kids. I've got it, the leather bound, the whole thing. It's going to be sitting on my shelf. I'm done with Fellowship, moving on to Twin Towers, And that to speak to Odin before about having like, oh, I bet you're too old for bedtime stories. I read good stuff to my kids before they go to bed, like Lord of the Rings and Earthman Jack from Mr. Kadish over here, stuff like that.
Aw.